So where is Bitcoin headed in the next short term, in the next few days, next couple of weeks? That's the billion-dollar question right now. So basically, Bitcoin has been looking like it's going to retest, right, this key 92 support level, 92K. Whilst some people believe that it could just go all the way, do a triple top and then turn down. It looks like it's going to retest or not retest. So far, my opinion, ever since it broke out here, was that it's going to retest this 92K, right? I was saying that we should hit about 96.8 or even 97K because there's lots of shorts here. We take out the shorts and then we dip down to take out the longs. Is that the script? Is that what's going to be happening? We're going to be looking at a number of factors to see where Bitcoin heads in the next couple of weeks. So it got up to 97.8 and now we've just hit like 93.5. So a couple of things to bear in mind, right? A couple of signals. First of all, the technical analysis, seeing what market makers would do to fake people out, to bull trap people if they were to test this 92K line. And also have a look at this, right? What are the institutions doing? What are the institutional buyers on Coinbase doing, right? What is the SP 500 likely to do? And on top of that, by the way, the signal given by the institutional buyers on Coinbase, where all the institutionals buy, compared to IBIT, which is what BlackRock does, are giving us opposite signals. Who should we believe in? Like, if we look at what BlackRock has been doing lately, is the opposite signal of those guys, of the big institutional players on Coinbase. So that's a big, divergence. Which one should we believe in? And also keep this in mind. What has been a good guide for us so far, not 100%, but certainly high correlation, as we can see, is, for Bitcoin, is the stock market. Here's the QQQ. Well, what I just showed you guys was the QQQ, and this is the SPDR ETF, or SP 500, the largest stock market index in the world, and it's certainly going to be a major factor. You can probably already see I've marked out a inverse shoulder, head shoulder here for the stock market. But is Bitcoin going to play out this pattern? Because sometimes Bitcoin doesn't, right? As we saw, Bitcoin had a lot of relative strength, right? When the stocks weren't bouncing, Bitcoin broke through and went through to hit 92K. That happened about 2 weeks ago. So to answer all these questions today, before we do that, let's first answer the question of which crypto exchange does Pablo use? Well, Pablo uses this exchange that is non-KYC. That means you don't need to show your ID. That means even the exchange can't see who you are. So I made a deal with them because that means the IRS can't see you, the tax office can't see you. Of course, the Americans can use it because CIA, FBI, nobody can see that it's you. I love the privacy, so I made this deal with Bitunix. Just by depositing, can receive up to $200, right? And then by trading, win up to $35,000, and all these great prizes such as Tesla Model 3, Rolex, Apple Vision Pro, Sony iPhone, Sony PlayStation, all that, and limited time only, ends on June the 4th. Okay, so if you're watching this on YouTube, then the link is in the description below. The link is in the description below. But if you're watching this on other platforms, such as this one, then just click on my profile page, and there's the Stan link. We go to the Stan link, basically click on there, and it should be the first deal that pops up from the Stan link. Okay, because that's a great deal. Let's get back to the markets, and keep in mind, guys, only on the Pablo link. Okay, let's go. So the chart that is really important right now is to look at what is BlackRock doing and what are the big institutions doing. So first of all, have a look. Here they are. BlackRock has been buying for some like 15 days straight. So when these lines are above zero, they're buying like 1,000 Bitcoins a day, 3,500 Bitcoins a day, 7,000 Bitcoins a day, 10.2 thousand Bitcoins a day, right? This is when they're selling 1.1 thousand Bitcoins a day, 3,300 Bitcoins a day, 5,000 Bitcoins a day, right? When they were selling, see how that kind of created the bottom in Bitcoin price? That was around March, and April, right? April 7th, the bottom. And now when they're buying, that's when Bitcoin hits 97.8K, right? But, and most people think, how can two institutional Bitcoin signals between, this is the IBIT, BlackRock, the largest hedge fund manager in the world, and the largest Bitcoin ETF in the world, how can that signal be contradicting this signal? This is the Coinbase, right? The buy, sell signal, Coinbase premium. We use this and it's going negative. It's going into the dip. I'll just cut straight to the chase, guys. So we can see that basically, let me move up the dates so we can see the dates. Can we see the dates now? A little bit more. So basically for the, okay, here, we should be able to see the dates here. Okay, since Feb, when this signal turned, when the green bars is the Coinbase premium. Okay, well, I'll just explain what the premium means. Basically, here's the Bitcoin spot price, the average across all these other exchanges. That's basically the price of Bitcoin. And when Coinbase trades above there by like, you know, a couple of $100, that means some whales on Coinbase are buying eagerly. They're eager to buy. They're pushing the price on Coinbase above everyone else. And when they're selling in a hurry, they push the price down below everyone else. So what does that mean? Why do we believe, why is Coinbase so important? Why not say, you know, Binance? Because Binance is actually like the largest exchange in the world. Well, the thing about Binance is that every other exchange in the world, none of them are listed on the NASDAQ. So if you're a big whale, like if you are, say, Bridgewater, if you're, say, Berkshire Hathaway, you know, not that they would buy Bitcoin, but let's say if you are JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs, you cannot take the reputational risk, financial risk of going onto an exchange like Binance or, you know, these kind of exchanges, because if something goes wrong, then there's no way you can explain that to the SEC, Securities Exchange Commission in the United States. But Coinbase, you can. Not even Kraken, not even American exchanges like Kraken, but you can with Coinbase, because Coinbase is listed on the NASDAQ. It's regulated at a much higher level. I'm not even sure if they have futures trading. I think they only trade spot, at least for the first 3 or 4 years, that was the case. So that means all the big institutions, you know, BlackRock, the JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, if they, and other hedge funds, if they buy Bitcoin, they buy it on Coinbase. And if there's a lot of buying on Coinbase, then there becomes a premium to the real spot price. And if there's a lot of selling, there becomes a discount. So that's why it gives us a clue to what the whales in the markets, especially in the US, which is like at least 40, 50, if not 60% of the Bitcoin market, are doing. So when they start selling here and here and here, right, especially this big sell in late February, it signaled Bitcoin broke down 92K area, and then boom, eventually, as I said, would go to 73K. Bitcoin went to 74K, so that was pretty close. And then we can see it started selling less and less, whilst, see the divergence here. The green bars are rising out of zero, but the blue line, which is Bitcoin price, actually went down to 74K and bottom there. And then this thing would again go to zero, and then start turning positive. And then, of course, Bitcoin, then price followed. And now we're seeing, you know, a downward slope here, and then price starting to turn negative, right? Starting to see negative green bars here. We need to watch this more carefully over the next few days, but we certainly don't want this to turn out to be like another one of these situations where Bitcoin price dips, or another one of these situations where Bitcoin price dips again. However, it would fit with my theory that I think Bitcoin's going for a dip. I said it would retest the 92K support and would flirt with that. And the bottom, I would think the support is around 88.5K. The reason for that is because this is the line that basically everyone knows that's the neckline from which this head and shoulders, double head and shoulders, broke down, and that made me give the 73K target. We got to 74. So now everyone's saying, oh, it's above this 92K, Bitcoin's going to make another run. So what the exchanges would like to do is basically dip it or even close it 1 or 2 days below this level, this 91.5, 92K level, and freak everyone out and make everyone think, oh, wow, this was just a dead cat bounce. I don't think that's the case, but that's what the exchanges would want you to think by taking it down here for 1 or 2 days, freak everyone out, and then bounce up. So it needs to dip below this line, 91.7. Go somewhere like 89, 88.5. Go to somewhere like that. Stay there for a while to freak people out. And then also to take out all the leverage longs here, right? They took out the shorts here, like I said, go to 97K, and then probably come here and take out all the longs. Now, to explain, why should we not take the BlackRock signal seriously? Well, the BlackRock signal is also, people say that's also an institutional signal. Why do we only look at the Coinbase signal? Well, the BlackRock signal, BlackRock is the world's largest hedge fund. There's no doubt about that. But when people say like BlackRock bought 10,000 Bitcoins today, or BlackRock bought 7,000 Bitcoins today, they're not actually talking about BlackRock buying. That's not actually Larry Fink and BlackRock buying. That's actually BlackRock's retail clients buying. So what BlackRock does is it's basically a managed fund, one of the largest managed fund, hedge fund, whatever you want to call it, and they have lots of these clients. And they speak to these clients, and these clients, a lot of times, these are smaller people who have their superannuation with BlackRock. They send out their advisors. I guess they're called, investment advisors, and they would speak to these mom and pops and say, you should have at least 3 to 5% of your portfolio in Bitcoin. That's what they would say. They would say that, and if the mom and pop agrees and says, yeah, I guess we should put 5% or 3% of our superannuation or retirement fund or 401k into Bitcoin, then BlackRock goes ahead and places that order. And if they have, say, 10,000 of those mom and pops buying that day, and then you multiply that by the amount they're buying, and that's your 5,000 Bitcoins and 6,000 Bitcoins. That's not Larry Fink and BlackRock buying. That actually reflects retail interest buying. Well, not all BlackRock's clients are retail. Some of them are like teachers unions, government employee retirement funds, truckers unions. So they do have some institutional clients as well, but it's not as obvious a signal as Coinbase Premium. So we should trust Coinbase Premium more. And so far, it looks like it's going for a dip. Right? Of course, we need to monitor it more closely next couple of days. So for BlackRock, we can see that they've basically sold, and then they turned up again. So they're also a good indicator, right? Because this is literally like the largest, if not the second largest, if not the largest buyer of Bitcoins in the market. So it is important. It is important that to watch BlackRock as well, but they may not be a leading indicator. They might only actually be a coincidental indicator. That means they go up and down at the same time as Bitcoin, where we may not get any new information out of it. So one more indicator we should look at for the short term is basically the SPDR ETF, and I've said this publicly, and before that I said it, even earlier in my Discord, that basically I was expecting. I said it I think last week by Friday, and now we're on Tuesday, U.S. time, Wednesday Asian zone time, that I'm expecting this shoulder, head, shoulder inverse with a dip to some like 540 or even just below like 535, and then boom, and go like that. So so yeah, if that dip was to happen, and it's already happening here, then we would expect Bitcoin to dip as well. So just to be clear, my expectations on Bitcoin are for it to pull back. I've said it so many times in my videos and in my Discord and on Twitter, that I think it's getting to 97K, right? And then even 98K, and then bang, retest this 91.6, 92K zone with a wick down or even a close down below as low as 88.5K, freak everyone out. Imagine if that happened. Imagine if that happened and take out all the longs, then everyone's like, oh my God, this was just a dead cat bounce. This is going to be a lower high and down we go. And then we're going to get rejected at 92K on the bounce and down we go. My thinking's something like this, freak everyone out and then bounce and then up we go. So, could be wrong, but that's why we need to watch this very, very carefully. Okay, I'll keep you guys updated. Thank you for watching. Catch you guys next episode.